Good morning. Today we are having a new chapter of our story, The Secret Garden. But before reading chapter 6, I will remind you with some of the most important points that we studied during chapter 5. Let's start. Mr. Craven hated his wife's garden, as Mrs. Craven loved that garden. There was a big old tree in the garden. Mrs. Craven often sat in it and read. One day she fell out of the tree. She died. The next day after that, Mr. Craven didn't see anybody for months. He closed the garden and he threw away the key to the door so nobody could go in there. Mary wanted to find the room with a lot of books because it was raining outside and she was bored. Now open your book to read chapter 6. 2 days later, the weather changed. Mary woke up and went to the window. Look at the moor, she cried to Martha. The sky was blue and the moor looked very beautiful. Yes, it's in early spring, said Martha. I'd like to see your house, Martha, Mary said. I'll ask my mother, said Martha. She would like to meet you. I don't know your mother, but I like her, Mary said. And I don't know Deacon, but I like him too. You will meet Deacon one day. Do you think he will like you? Martha asked. No, said Mary in a cold little voice. People never like me. And do you like Mary? Martha asked. Mary thought for a minute. No, I don't think I do, she said. Look at question number 1. What would Mary like and why? Mary would like to see Martha's house because she liked Martha's mother and she liked Deacon. That morning, Mary felt sad and cross. She went outside and began to feel better. She went into the first kitchen garden and found Ben Weather stuff there. Spring is coming, she said. Things are growing. You watch. I will, said Mary. She looked round and saw the robin. He put his head on one side and looked up at her. Do you think he remembers me? She asked. Of course, he remembers you, cried Ben Weatherstaff. He wants to know you. Are things growing in his garden? Mary asked. What garden? Ben asked crossly. The garden with the rose trees. Mary answered. Ask him, said then he knows. Mary said goodbye to the old man and walked slowly through the gardens to the wall of the secret garden. Question number 1. What did Mary ask Ben Weatherstaff about? And how did he answer? Mary asked Ben Weatherstaff about the garden with the rose trees, or she asked him about the secret garden, and he answered crossly. I like the secret garden and the robin, she thought, and I don't know Deacon or his mother, but I like them, and Martha is kind. I never liked people in India, now, and now I like four people. For Mary, the robin was a person. Then the most wonderful thing happened, and it was because of the robin. She looked round, and there he was on the ground near her. You followed me, she cried. She sat on the ground and put her hand out. The robin didn't run away. I'm happy, Mary thought. Suddenly, she saw something on on the ground near the robin. It was an old key. Perhaps it's the key to the secret garden, she thought. She took the key back to her room and looked at it for a long time. The next morning, Mary took the key and went to the wall of the secret garden. The robin was on top of the wall. She laughed. You showed me the key yesterday. Perhaps you will show me the door today, she said. Question number one, how did Robin show Mary the key of the secret garden? Robin showed Mary the key of the secret garden when she sat on the ground and put her hand out. The robin didn't run away. Suddenly, she saw something on the ground near the robin. It was an old key. Then something magical happened. There was a strong wind that day, and suddenly it moved the plants under the robin to one side. Mary looked, and there in the wall was a door, the door to the secret garden. She cried. She felt she felt very excited. She took the key from her coat and put it in the door. It was not easy, but slowly she turned the key. She pushed the door and it opened. She walked through and quickly shut the door behind her. She looked round excitedly. She was inside the secret garden. It was very early spring and there were no flowers, but there were rose trees everywhere and rose plants climbed over the walls and the other trees in the garden. It's the strangest place in the world, Mary thought. Question number one, how did Mary find the door of the secret garden? Mary found the door of the secret garden when something magical happened. There was a strong wind that day, and suddenly it moved the plants under the robin to one side. The grass was brown. Everything was brown. Is anything growing here? Everything looks very dead, she thought. Mary walked round the garden. There were little green plants in the ground. She looked at them carefully. There was grass around them, and the plants couldn't grow very well. She started to pull up the grass round, round the plants. That's better, she said. She worked she worked busily all morning. At midday, she went back to the house. I will come back this afternoon, she thought. Mary ate a lot of lunch and she looked well and happy. Martha saw this and smiled. After lunch, Mary said, Martha, I'd like a spade. Why? Martha asked. I'd like to make a little garden. I wanted to plant seeds. I wanted to grow things. How much does a spade cost? Question number one, what did Mary want and why? Mary wanted to plant seeds and grow things to make a little garden. Not much, answered Martha. I have got some money. Mary said, Martha thought for a minute. I know, she said. Why don't you write a letter to Deacon? He can buy you a spade and some seeds. He can bring them to you. That's a good idea, cried Mary. So that afternoon, she wrote a letter to Deacon. She felt very excited. I am going to meet Deacon, she thought, and I'm going to plant seeds and they will grow. the secret garden will be green and beautiful again. Why did Mary write a letter to Deacon? Mary wrote a letter to Deacon to buy her a spade and some seeds. Let's answer these questions together. You showed me the key yesterday. Perhaps you will show me the door today. A. How did the robin show her the key? The robin showed her the key when Mary sat on the ground and put her hand out. The robin didn't run away. Suddenly, she saw something on the ground near the robin. It was an old key. B. How did she find the door? She found the door when there was a strong wind that day. Suddenly, it moved the plants. It moved the plants under the robin to one side. Then Mary looked and found a door in the wall. 2. I'd like a spade. How much does a spade cost? A. Who said that to whom? Mary said that to Martha. B. Why did she want a spade? She wanted a spade to plant seeds and grow things to make a little garden. C. What would she do to get one? She would write a letter to Deacon to get her a spade. We have finished. Thank you for your listening and goodbye. Bye-bye.